event of the evening, we got the welterweight championship matchup rematch between Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. Usman comes in at 19-1 and is the minus 300 favorite, whereas Colby Covington comes in at 16-2 and is the plus 240 underdog. Usman is a fighter who has good cardio and pace. He likes to walk you down and constantly switch stances. He likes to throw the jab, overhand strikes, and hooks. He also uses the 1-2 and the 2-1. He will utilize a lot of feints and likes to use them to change levels and shoot into the clinch. He will go for double leg takedowns or single leg takedowns, as well as the body lock into leg trips. He looks to catch kicks as well to throw his opponents down. He likes to use knees to body and elbow to head, and also likes to stomp the foot of his opponent. He incorporated a lower calf kick and body kick into his game plan. He prefers control over offense on the mat and is great at transitions, but he needs to avoid leaving his chin open at times. Whereas Covington is a fighter with a wrestling background, he has high cardio and high volume. He looks for double and single leg takedowns and also body lock into leg trips. He is now trained in BJJ and has mastered the utilization of the underhook. He tends to throw overhand strikes, hooks, and uppercuts at times. He uses a lower calf kick and body kick. He has a good chin and good IQ, but he needs to be more accurate with the striking when putting out high volume. Jim, what do you think of this fight, and then who do you have winning?
Well, first and foremost, I'm super excited for this fight. This is one of those fights that you stay up late for on a main event pay-per-view. Like you'll wait up until 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning to see this fight because we know the history between these two and we know exactly what happened last fight. Going into this fight, you have two great wrestlers with incredible cardio and good striking. I think a lot of people see Colby Covington for that WWE like persona that he kind of adapted, like that he became, right? But they
Yeah.
forget that he's a hell of a fighter. He's very durable, and you're only as good as your last fight. And his last fight was against Usman, and it
Woodley.
Woodley. I'm sorry, yes, and he dominated Woodley. So that negates everything that I wanted to say. But against Usman, we saw him kind of get exposed. We saw that good chin that you talked about get exposed as his jaw got rocked. Um, I think Usman is the better fighter in terms of complete tools. Statistically, they're almost identical with accuracy, with takedown defense, with you know output. They're almost identical. But I see this same result with Usman winning, but I think this goes the distance. I think this is going to be a 5 round fight. I think this goes the distance, and I'm going Kamaru Usman and still unanimous decision.
This was a tough fight to predict for me because of the inactivity of Colby Covington. He hasn't
Yep.
fought since last October, so it's been over a year. Whereas Usman has fought 2 or 3 times in that span.
Yep.
He since then has moved camps to the same camp as Justin Gagey. He's incorporated the calf kick, like I said, into his repertoire, compliments of Gagey, which
Hmm.
has done wonders to his output. It's been more complete. And the first fight was so crazy, like you said. He tested Colby's chin. He he broke Colby's jaw, but then Colby still went 3 more rounds with a broken jaw.
Savage.
I had the one thing with that fight that was kind of left a bad taste in my mouth was the fact that Colby Covington in I think it was the third round, had Usman reeling, and then Usman faked a groin shot and he was that the judge gave him 2 or 3 minutes to recover from, and you see the instant replay, and he didn't hit him in the groin, he hit him in the leg,
Okay.
and he still allowed it, and it kind of changed the complexion of the fight, and where from there it went to Usman. He was able to recover, attack him again, in the fifth round, where arguably it was 2-2. He put Covington down by hitting him in the jaw again. It was just too much for him.
Yeah.
But in this fight, like it was so hard to decide this, but I have to I have to go with the guy that's been active. I got to go with Usman by unanimous decision, just for the fact that I know what he's doing now. I know how he's fighting. He's been dominant lately. He's had spurts in fights uh, where he's been knocked down. Look at the Gilbert Burns fight in round
Yep.
one. He was knocked down, got back up, and then he changed his game plan to attack Burns with the leg kicks and then the jab, and that just killed Gilbert Burns' game plan. Whereas Covington hasn't fought since the Woodley fight over a year
Yep.
ago. So we don't know what to expect from Covington. And then on the crazy side, it's fight week, and we really haven't heard anything from him. He's been kind of radio silent, you would say,
Yeah.
which is scary because you know something's up when he's silent. Because after the Woodley fight, he went off that he wanted Usman, and the first
Yep.
fight they were talking all trash. I think he's game planned, ready to go. It's just that we don't. It's hard to pick him when I don't know what version of Colby Covington is going to show up. So
Exactly.
just that, I'm going Usman by unanimous decision.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man. It's hard to go against somebody who's fought 3 times to your
Yeah,
1 time since the last meeting between the two of them. Plus, you're right. Radio silence from Colby Covington is very unusual. Could mean that he's having a hard weight cut. It could mean that he's dealing with an injury, or it could
yeah,
mean that he's absolutely dialed in. The one thing that Colby usually has to his advantage is his takedowns. He almost shoots for about 5 per fight.
yeah,
Usman's got 100% takedown defense. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a huge test for Colby if he's gonna try to go the wrestling route against Kamaru. So I think this is gonna stand up and become a boxing match. And I trust Usman's hands better than Colby's at this point. Hell of a fight. I'm glad this is finally happening. I think all of Covington's fights are entertaining,
yeah.
personality aside. I think he's one hell of a fighter. So I'm looking forward to this one. But right there with you, man. Unanimous decision win, Kamaru Usman.
Yep.